Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Welcome to another edition of our weekly Peace Talk Show. This is the show that is brought to you to discuss on issues surrounding peace and our national security. As we are all aware that peace and security of a nation is paramount for development to occur. And this show is one of the shows that actually discuss on relevant issues regarding our national security for sustainable peace. Every week we have people who actually are invited here to come and discuss on national issues relating to peace and security. And today also we have a great person who actually is an entrepreneur, who actually is a mentor, a coach, and
it's my pleasure to be here.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I am so you must be familiar to the face. That is Mr. Njai, the CEO of Tough Global, who is actually constructing houses and buildings for humanity. And Mr. Njai is here to discuss on the state of our national security. And it's
we have seen a surge in crime recently.
And because others are there who actually may not be able to speak or hear English language. So you are at liberty to speak any of the local language that you wish. And likewise, me also. I can speak to you in Mandinka or whatsoever. So I will be glad if you speak in local language. And also, I know we have international audience. If you can speak in English also, it's fine. But basically, we want to enlighten the Gambians on the importance of peace and how best we can have a durable solution to our security, our threatening security. So Mr. Njai, we are here today. What is your perspective on the state of security? What is your perspective on the state of security? As you said, we have seen such in rate of crimes and violence, and people are saying this is not the Gambia we know, and people are even saying the new Gambia, but actually this is now going back. What is your perspective on the state of security?
Well, there's a reason for everything that happens. So it didn't happen by accident. So if we have just noticed that over this period, the state of the peacefulness that we used to enjoy, we're losing it. Crime is increasing. There's a reason for it. There's always a reason for anything that happens.
Okay.
So I think first we take up responsibilities.
Okay.
Now, if we are losing it first, we need to fight crime. If crime is going up, and I am glad that the president made a speech. Maybe you will come into that later.
We will come to that later.
Yeah, but I think in that one to start from him, he took up his responsibility, as a president.
Okay.
And obviously, the security of the nation, is in the hands of the security forces.
Yeah.
But that is not enough. We need to go back and say why. Ask ourselves why. Generally, you do a SWOT analysis of anything. Even a nation, you do it. In business, you do it. You know what a SWOT analysis is? The strength and the weaknesses, the opportunities and the threats. So I would like to do a SWOT analysis of the country, of the Gambia.
Thank you very much.
And then bring it to today what we're going through.
Okay.
Now, obviously, we have our strengths.
Okay.
We have our strength as a nation.
Okay.
And our strength was our size and our peacefulness.
Okay.
So a lot of tourists were coming here, and people were wondering why are tourists coming to Gambia. So the strength we had was that Gambia was peaceful.
Okay.
So we're going to lose that strength. That's a threat now. That's becoming a threat. The crime that's coming up is becoming a threat to our country.
Okay.
And then obviously, our weaknesses. There are issues of, well, I don't want to go too deep into it. And there are opportunities. But for me, honestly, my own perspective of this, there's a reason why we have a surge in crime.
Okay.
One, everybody knows that globally, there is an economic downturn. Because of COVID-19. COVID-19 today, since it entered, this part of Africa, it's coming to 18 months.
Okay.
And what happened? In Gambia, 20-something% of our GDP came from tourism.
Okay.
And tourism stopped the moment COVID-19 came in. So for the past 18 months, you haven't been seeing inflows, coming from tourism. And tourism had some serious rippling effect in this country. And one of them are the youth. I mean, the youth benefit so much from the tourists. So today, these youth that we are going after the tourists and benefiting from tourism are jobless. They are unemployed.
Okay.
So it is likely that they are tempted to go into other crimes.
Okay.
That's one. Two, we've seen also those that were being returned
Exactly.
From Europe.
Yeah.
You know, they are frustrated. You know, we've seen that. We've seen the rise in drug abuse.
Yeah.
So, you know, there is a combination of issues that is really escalating crime in this country. So I think that there is a need for this country to get all the responsible authorities to diagnose this problem. You know, at times you just cannot fight crime by reinforcing the security forces.
Okay.
It will never stop.
Yeah, yeah.
The next thing, the criminals are going to also, you know, build up themselves to do what they were doing, because, you know, man needs to survive. And I will want to take this across what we are seeing now today in sub-Saharan Africa. You saw what happened in Nigeria. Again, it's all about the youth and crime.
Yeah, yeah.
In Nigeria, some months back, there was an issue, there was a serious uprising of the youth in Lagos.
Yeah, yeah.
Called NSAS.
NSAS, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And again, same thing, people said, oh, no, now crime is rising, but there's a reason for it. Now, in Senegal, the Ajisar and Honorable Sonko issue, you saw what the youth did. So it's not actually any specific issue that they are fighting for. There is a reason why it is why the youth are so culpable. So we need to address that. And for me, if you ask me, the reason is our educational system.
Okay.
We need to go back and look at our educational system.
Okay.
And well, you know, I do research. I don't come out in public.
Okay.
And just quote figures, which is at times very common.
Yeah.
People will sit, you know, in front of a camera and start saying, "Oh, Gambians, the majority of Gambians."
Yeah.
So what I did was I just picked up some figures and tell you. So it is good to quote figures. These are facts.
Yeah.
Now, over the past 5 years, between 2015 and 2019, the number of kids that were enrolled in the schooling system, that went to school, to elementary school, were a total of 1,657,345.
In the Gambia?
In the Gambia.
Okay.
In 5 years.
Okay.
They were enrolled. But those that made it to upper basic were 1,478,000 to upper basic. Those who made it to upper basic. Just upper basic.
Yeah.
So in the school dropout. So what are those kids doing? So we need to ask those questions.
It's a quick.
That's number one. Number two, those who made it to senior secondary over those 5 years, it's only 300,000 of them. 301,000.
That is.
So those that were enrolled of 1.6 million on skills. These kids need to be taught skills.
Exactly.
That is what the problem is.
Yeah.
Because you have a mass of young kids who don't have any skills whatsoever. And you know, they are able-bodied men.
Yeah.
At 18, 15, 14, you have now grown up, you've gone to school, you stopped at lower basic. You know, you want good things like you and me. You cannot find food. So you are tempted to go into crime.
Exactly.
So for me, honestly, I think as a country, we need to go back to the drawing board and look at our educational system.
Yeah.
Our educational system is failing us. Our educational system is producing, you know, men, you know, who are unskilled. They are not educated, because really today education, even if you go to, let's say, the level of a university having a degree, the University of the Gambia graduates about 1,000 every year. Now, the majority of people who graduate from the university, you know, are not really on any hard skills. Humanities, I don't have any, I support, people can do what they want. But you need to, for me, in Africa, what we need, because me, I'm Pan-Africanist, what you need today is skills, something that you can survive on your own. And so, that's my perspective, my general perspective, and we should really look at our educational system. We need to produce, you know, kids that are skillful. We need to produce skills.
So basically, Mr. Njai, technically you have almost answered 4 or 3 of the questions, you know, because once I asked you the perspective, you have, you know, highlighted, you know, the problems, and also you have given some solutions. You know, now you have given some solutions which actually are very, very vital, and many people have sit on this very platform here, and they said our education system has to be revisited to actually see how best we can inject, you know, skills so that, you know, people can become skillful, because last time, a senior peace and conflict lecturer sat here. He said, in fact, degrees and PhDs are common all over the world now. So as a result, we should try to see how best we innovate and teach our youths skills. Because you said something very important here, and I told people, you see, Gambia cannot be normal as we used to expect. Our youths have gone out and they have been repatriated back. These people are not properly reintegrated. Also, as you said, the tourism sector and also the unemployment rate is very high. All these are threat to our national peace and security. And as a result, we are saying that, we are reinforcing the police. That is not sustainable. What is sustainable is to bring those structural reforms, which will improve the life of the youths. When your life is improved, you don't think of going into something that is, undesirable.
Yeah.
So what is your general analysis on that?
Well, I mean, I've said it. We've gone through it. The educational system before. I mean, during our time, because I mean, there's a generation gap here. The educational system, I remember that after primary school. I mean, now the names get changed all the time, but we call it primary school. After primary school, you went into junior secondary, and junior secondary mainly it was to prepare you, to pick up skills. You do things like woodwork, metalwork, agricultural science, domestic science, for the ladies, and so many things that were just skills, oriented. So, yes, I think we've said it. The government needs to revisit, our educational system and really provide skills for these young people. And let me tell you further. The advantage of providing skills for young people today. One, that is the demand, because the reality in the marketplace, we don't have workers. So I can tell you this: I'm an authority in this, because everybody knows that we're a big real estate development company, and we don't have workers. We don't have people who are trained, with the requisite skills. So what happens? We import skills. So by importing skills, the country gets expensive.
Yeah.
Because, for example, if you were to hire a mason here, and you pay him a normal rate of $300 a day, if somebody comes from Sierra Leone or from Guinea-Bissau, you pay him more. And that is the reality now.
Yeah.
That is why things are expensive. We don't have Gambians picking up the skills and doing it. But even as an opportunity, let me tell you as an opportunity what it provides for this country. If we go into mass training, of young people to pick up skills, we can export them. We can export them because, everywhere in the world, especially in Europe, there's a demand for this. Take a good example is Qatar. When Qatar were building all the stadiums, they imported skills. If you go to Dubai, it's not the Emiratis who do the work. They import skills from the nearby countries. So, as Gambians, if we concentrate that, look, these 1 million young kids, we're going to train them to be very skillful, needed skills, on a global level. The next thing, they are our foreign currency earners. Because even if they decide to go back way, if they reach there, when they go to Europe, they will have skills, so they'll be employed. But most of the people who go to land in Europe, they don't have any skills. So what do? They end up being refugees, just sitting up in refugee camps. And that is why they are a liability to those governments.
You actually have said the exact word of the former EU ambassador to the Gambia. This is what I posed to him. I told him that, why is it that you people are returning back our brothers and sisters in Europe? He said the European Union also want to advance. It does not mean where we are, that's where we want to be static. We actually do not need liabilities. And that is the exact point. Mr. Njai, here I will actually differ in some points, because we have the GTTI, which is actually training center for actually youths in skills and whatsoever. We have seen GTTI students have been trying very well. But sometimes it's very disheartening. They said that in the Gambia, you will work here and as a result, your efforts will not be recognized. Projects will be there and people will be hired outside to come and do the projects here.
No, Justice, no, that's not a fact.
Okay.
That's not a fact. Listen, I can give you examples of people who went to GTTI and they have progressed. I don't want to generalize. But if you have skills, I just want to stop. If you have skills, you'll be employed. Because it just makes sense for the employer. Rather than going to pay somebody, because when you pay anybody from outside, the rates are much higher. So if I can have the same service being produced by Gambians here, I will employ them. So really, let's not go too far with that.
Okay.
I mean, look, as I said, I have done this in my life.
Okay.
I have done this for the past 40-something years.
Yeah.
So I can claim to be an authority at this age. So really, please.
No problem. Let's come. Moving from that end, now we're going to, as I said, the Operation Zero Crime. What is your perspective on them? Operation Zero Crime, is lauded by many people as recently they are doing great. What is your perspective on them?
Well, I want to commend them because we need policing in this country.
Okay.
So whatever their responsibilities are as police, if they are doing it, I would not get into it. We must avoid something in this country. We all have opinions. Everybody has an opinion.
Yeah.
But we must respect professionals.
Yeah.
Policing is a professional of its own. So, and they are very educated. If you go to the police force now, people have gone through a lot of training. So really, I don't want to give my opinion. I would rather support them in whatever they are doing to reduce crime than let them do it.
Yeah.
But I am a civilian, I don't know anything about policing. They should just work, based on the right rules and the laws of this country to make policing be much more efficient. Yeah,
that is fine. Actually, recently also the president has given a speech, and as a result, the speech is hailed by many people as a very timely speech. But also, others are actually giving their dissatisfaction, as you said, it's opinion, matter of opinion. You understand? You cannot actually satisfy everybody's opinion. But others are saying that the president's speech was too disappointing. What is your analysis on that?
Anybody who makes a speech, even if I go out of here, we will have different opinion about our interview.
Okay, yeah.
And that is normal. That is normal, and especially a president. There is no way that he says something that you will not have different opinion. And that's what democracy is all about. We have a right to voice out our opinion.
Okay.
So really, but for me, if I listened to the speech in detail, and I was pleased that one, he came out and made a statement. Because really, the responsibility is his. The second thing was what he said in the speech. He said he was the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and it is his responsibility. So he has voiced out and accepted his responsibility. In general, we need to learn to accept responsibilities.
Yeah.
So if it starts from him, it's a good example. That at least he's saying, yes, we've realized that the crime is going up, and it is my responsibility. So he's accepting it, number one. And then he comes up with what he's doing, to bring back peace into the country. That's his responsibility. That's his job. He's the CEO of this country.
Yeah.
I mean, I am the CEO of TAF.
Okay.
You can have an opinion of how I build my houses. I cannot stop you. But what I go through in building those houses, I am sure you don't have an opinion about it. So I just want to commend him that, it's a step in the right direction to come out and accept responsibility and then come up with solutions. Now, whilst doing the solutions, there should be consultations. Like now, I have just told you why I think, and that's my own opinion, that security is increasing. That's my opinion. Somebody else might differ. But in life, this is what makes us all progressive.
Yeah.
We must learn to accept our differences, without any fear or favor, or without actually looking at it from any other angle. For example, tribal, no affiliation. I shouldn't say something and then you think that I am so and so tribe, or I am doing it because I have money, or I am doing it because I am this. Let us look at the subject matter. That is what is important.
Yeah.
And I think as a country we are at a stage where people need to be more progressive by analyzing issues properly. Don't look at the guy who says it. What is important is what is he saying.
Yeah, exactly.
But here, honestly, the moment you utter a word, first thing he's from MPP.
Yeah.
Then the next thing, the guy is from UDP.
Yeah.
So the country is being divided on party lines.
Party lines.
We have opinions.
Serious.
Me, I don't belong to any party. But I am a citizen. I have a stake in this country.
Yeah.
I have a right to say what I feel is right. And that is why you have civil society. So these are the things that we should avoid. I mean, every country have differences in so many things. Even in your own house, between a wife and a husband, you will have differences. But we must learn to be tolerant.
Yeah.
That is what we are losing in this country, because it's related to peace.
Yeah.
Tolerance is key.
In fact, you're right.
You know, people should learn to be tolerant. Okay, let somebody who's wearing yellow, coming from a UDP rally, say something. Yes, you are coming from another party with the green, with APRC. Yes, belong to your different parties, please. But I think what is most important is the subject matter.
Exactly.
Who is saying it? Does he have the competence to say it? Because look, not everybody that says things is right. Some don't have a clue. Recently, I saw a subject matter, you know, that was being discussed, you know, publicly. And seriously, the guy didn't have a clue of what he was saying. But he was influencing opinion. So these are things we should avoid, you know. But anyway, that's
yes. Thank you. Also, still on the president's speech, we actually are not here to, as you said, you know, we are giving our opinion, as everybody actually is having a responsibility for the way forward or the advancement of this country. People said the president has gone too far of having, you know, those dictatorial tendencies by saying that the military is on a standby. You know, they said that is not sustainable. The president should have said, I have, immediately disburse such amount of fund or resources to equip the police and to ensure that the peace or the threatening or the looming threat to our peace is actually controlled. But saying that the military is on standby, it's like, you know, we actually are following the footsteps of what actually dictators follow. That's what others say.
That's your opinion.
That's what people say.
That's your justice. That's opinion. I expect, and you know, rightfully too, being a man of my responsibility, I expect that the president will not just get up one morning off the cuff and take a decision on a matter as serious as this. That's my expectation. The president has ministers, he has public servants with him, he has experts on security. I believe that whatever he has done or whatever he has said was based on advice, proper advice. That's what I expect.
Okay.
I'm not saying that will happen, but I expect that. And remember, the president's speech is only 8 minutes.
Okay.
So that speech of 8 minutes, I mean, I am at a position where I do things and I say things, but the preparation of it will take days and months before I come out and say. So I expect, as I say, I'm underlining this point, I expect that the president's speech was done, you know, after a broad-based consultation with the right experts.
Okay.
You know, because we have a national security, we have a security experts. So they must have advised him. That's what I assume. And I hope so, that they must have advised him to do the right thing.
Yeah. Still now, it is so disheartening that, you know, we are saying that, as you said, you know, this trying to combat crimes and violence in the society. Our police, our securities are not equipped. You know, sometimes, you know, mobility is a problem. And, you know, we have actually, you know, seen this and the crime rate is increasing. What do you think should be done by the government immediately, you know, to ensure that, you know, this issue, the security sector is not under-resourced?
Well, you know, when you talk about under-resourced in a third world country like the Gambia, the police are not isolated. You know, if they increase anything to the police, other sectors will also come over and say, how about us? Like recently, I think I saw the civil servant salary increase also. There was a salary increase. You know, as I said, justice, people will have their opinion. Oh no, it shouldn't have been done this way, not this other way. You know, that will happen all the time. And that is also healthy. That's what brings it checks and balances. But there are, you know, a structure in place. There is a structure in place. Because whatever the president is doing, you know, I guess some things cannot be done without going to the National Assembly. They have a role to play. You know, some things cannot be done without going to cabinet. In cabinet, the membership of cabinet, it's what, about 15 or so or more. So again, consultation. And then going to the different ministries, the different departments, you know, the different special units. So in my own opinion, as I said, I am just a citizen. I think the police needs to be looked again. I have issues with the police. You know, honestly, I hate the road stops. I hate it. You know, one time I tweeted that I drove from Dakar to Kir Ayib, and there was 0 police stop. When I entered Farafenye, after Kir Ayib, to Fonyi, I counted 20 police stops. You know, if you go to Dubai, very well secured. You know, intelligence and security is not on the road.
Okay.
And actually, because I am an economic operator, I think there's a cost to the economy for all these roadblocks.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
I have my right to my opinion.
Yeah, you write your opinion.
So, but you know, I remember once I sit in the National Business Council. The National Business Council is the highest body of consultation between the private sector and government. And we raised this. We raised the issue of Denton Bridge. But you know, a minister said, look, no, that one cannot go out. That's a security issue. So who are we to challenge security issue? Now, because if something goes wrong, that the security wasn't mounted at the right place, then we blame them. Like now we're blaming the government for not beefing up and fixing the security. So really, you get to a point in certain things, you know, you cannot go beyond. Let me give you a good example.
Okay.
A very good one is the issue of Gorgui Mbub.
Okay, okay.
It was a very tough debate here.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think the opinion is still divided. Because some people thought, oh, no, he was too hard on these young people, what he was doing, X, Y, Z. But I've recently seen on social media, some people are saying, oh, bring Gorgui Mbub back. That's life, that's opinion.
Life. Yeah, seriously, yeah.
You know, look at it now. Whether I am not the judge. Whether Gorgui Mbub did a good job or not, he has his superiors who will analyze what he was doing, whether it was right or wrong. I will leave it to them. But just to give you a very good example, we have different opinions on Gorgui Mbub's role that he was playing. Some thought that he was too tough, but people are now saying, when Gorgui Mbub was here, this crime never existed. So opinions. But whatever we do as a country in trying to keep the peace, we should do our best to make sure that all of us retain the peace that we are known for.
Seriously, you're right with that. And recently, as you said, you know, social media, it is there all over, you know, go back. But anyway, still now going, because we're actually looking at the context of President's speech. And he said something which actually, you know, wants to be seriously explored. He said security is collective. You understand? And he said security of the nation is actually not premised or actually on one body. It is a collective issue. And as a result, and it should not be party politics. Security is everybody's business, and we must not actually associate lapses to a particular political party or particular section. We all have to contribute. What is your take on that with the current political atmosphere?
Well, you know, everybody knows that when we're close to politics, you know, everything you do has got some bit of political connotation. And we are, about 6 months before the next election? And it's getting heated, as we see it. So, and the president belongs to a party, and, you know, he wants to retain his seat. The opposition wants to take over the seat. So, yes, things will be, the opposition will look at every weakness, every small weakness, and every small pinhole to enlarge it to as big as possible. You know, because they are opposing him. They want him his seat. So anything that they think that is his fault, they will magnify it. They will voice it out. And that is normal. Obviously, he is the president. He is sitting there. He will also need to defend himself. He has a responsibility. And that is why I don't challenge his responsibility. You know, so he needs to assure us that he is capable enough and he's performing so that when December 4th comes in, please re-elect me again. So this is normal. This is nothing abnormal.
Yeah.
You know, and then as I said, I keep repeating this: opinion.
Yeah.
You know, if you ask a member of the opposition about the president, it is not very likely that they will compliment him. It is not very likely. Even if he brings diamonds, they will say, no, this diamond is coated. Let's watch it. Don't buy it. Don't take the diamond. So, but again, vice versa. The president, if he sees somebody from the opposition doing something, he will not also compliment them or bring them on board. That is politics. And me, I don't get close to politics. I am not a politician. I am not interested. But I am a citizen with a lot of vested interest in this country. So I voice out my opinion based on my facts and my experience.
Thank you, Mr. Njai. We will come back to the issue of the political issue later in the session. Mr. Njai, we have seen that of Sanyang incident. We have seen that of incidents where killings and cold blooded murders are becoming rampant you know, you said something, and you know, I think, you know, we still have to look at this issue very well, because everybody, sometimes I will be sitting there, people will text me, Justice, our Gambia, you understand? People are dying. I'm even afraid to go out. People will tell you the taxi drivers will keep on running. So many petty things which actually are so disturbing, and people are saying that murder and, you know, assassinations or killings are rampant in this country. You know, what solutions do you think can be, you know, attained?
Well, I think, Justice, you're really repeating this point. We're going with, I've told you people's responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, the responsibility and security of this country lies in the hands of the government. Yes, it's collective. We have a role, but the primary objective of keeping the country safe and the security lies in the head of the president.
Yeah.
And he said it. He accepted it.
Yeah.
He said he is going to perform his duties without fear or favor.
Yeah.
He said so. So really, I think we should go beyond this point now.
Okay.
We know who is responsible. They said they're taking their responsibility. Let's allow them to make this country peaceful.
Thank you. Okay. You know, the reason why I'm actually bringing this up, I discussed this here several times, and still now, you know, people are telling me, but you have not discussed this appropriately. Sometimes, you know, I just get, you know,
Justice, he said their opinion. Look, today somebody will look at my agbada, as I put it, and say, oh, the color wasn't right. That's an opinion. It's your opinion, but me, I like it.
Yeah.
Somebody will look at your Justice. No, you know, your hair, the way you cut it. That's their opinion.
Yeah.
You cannot stop them.
Okay.
You know, you don't have this story about trying to please everybody. At times you don't.
Thank you. Now, as I said also, you know, the political atmosphere, you know, we have seen, you know, recently in 2020, you know, elections that happened in West Africa, some of them have not been peace-friendly. And, you know, our country also is in elections here. And you are a serious investor in this country. This peace and security of this country is your concern. The stability of this country is your concern. And we have seen that recently, politicians are taking either hook or crook to actually assume to that place. And at a point, only one person can be a commander-in-chief of this country, whereas others have to serve as complementary. You understand? What do you see in the political atmosphere? Because all kinds of statements are going, and these are some of the things that are actually, you know, unfortunate.
It's disturbing.
Seriously.
It is disturbing, and all the political leaders from every party have a responsibility to this country. They need to remember, and I've said it in some platforms, that there will be a Gambia on the 5th of December. There will be one president who is elected. They should lead us with bright and good examples. There are young people who look up to them. So whatever they are doing for a love of a country, if you are ready to put your life down for it, there's something that's probably that you benefit from it more than just loving the country. So I think we are looking, what we expect from them is to play by the rules. I mean, there's an electoral code. I mean, we have the IEC who supervises. We have the security force who supervises them. Let them bear in mind that the people look up to them, especially the young ones. We're talking about now crime going up. But let's face it, from what I see, and this to all the political parties who elect them, who go to their rallies.
It's the youths.
The youths. What happened all the time? All of them. There's no exception. They bring in as much t-shirts as possible. All of them. They bring as much gele as possible. You know, look, we should look beyond this. They should be focusing now on what they would want to have these youths to do when they are elected. But because they want the votes of these youths, they bring them in as much as possible, and you see them all the time clapping, dancing, fighting each other.
Exactly.
So when I speak to the youth. Please don't allow to be used by these politicians. Me, I'm not a politician.
Yeah.
But we are all Gambians.
Seriously.
Any politician that means well, that is looking at things for the betterment of the country, let us look at their agenda. What is it that this man, what he is saying, if we put him there on December 5th, my life will be better? Let's look at that. This is not, they are not directing it to anybody. I mean, and that's what everybody wants. We elect you because we want a better life. I want to elect a president that creates an environment for me to move my business. That's what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
The press, the media, you want a government that is friendly, or at least you create an environment for the media to play their role.
Exactly.
That's what you want. These young kids, what they want is a government that will create opportunities for them. So we are waiting for their agenda. What is their agenda on youth empowerment? What is their agenda on skills development? What is their agenda on employment creation? What is their agenda on wealth creation? Those are the issues we should discuss. And we need to lift the bar. We are tired of dancing and clapping and shouting and colors. You know, we're tired of that. We have gone beyond that. The reason why I'm saying so, the politicians, wherever party they belong to, let us classify them as one. And their responsibility. Because they are competing. They are going to lead this country to compete with other countries. That is what is important. Wherever they go, when they're elected, they are not representing their party. They are representing the Gambia.
Exactly.
So therefore, let them be prepared. So when they get there, let them bring in the best for this country. Because remember, I want to bring on board the African Continental Free Trade Area. Now Africa is all one block.
Globalization.
We need to now arm ourselves with the right policies, with the right structures, so that we can compete with other countries. That's what we need to do. So really, that's my own perspective of it. Elections are coming. The way that this country is going to go is in the hands of the politicians. And I think they should not encourage, they should not use the youth for their political office. If they do, they will not enjoy their mantle of leadership when they sit there. Because this youth will still be unemployed, crime will increase, and there's nothing you can do.
Exactly.
I live in Port Harcourt, and I want to give you this example, and politicians should listen to this. In Port Harcourt, it's very unsafe. When I drive in Port Harcourt, I drive in a bulletproof car. That's how serious it is. I drive with two armed guards, with Kalashnikovs all the time. That's how unsafe it is. Today in Port Harcourt, there's a curfew from 8:30, nobody goes out. So even, Nigerians don't want to go to Port Harcourt to do business. The only reason why Port Harcourt is progressing is because there's oil. And people are going there doing everything possible to get the oil. But there's a lot of kidnapping that goes in through there. But you know how kidnapping started? Kidnapping started by the politicians using some young people to kidnap their opponents when there was time for election.
Okay.
So it was good for them. You wanted to get into power, so you will send somebody to go and kidnap this guy. So but now, after you've been elected, you have shown this young man that this is the way to make money. Because you are giving him money. So he doesn't see you any longer. So what happens? I mean, this young man then, those ammunition that you gave him or whatever, he now uses it to just kidnap ordinary people. So you feel insecurity. So my advice and my appeal to our political class is that please, you have 6 months to sit down and please think about how you want to rule this country after 5th of December 2021.
Thank you very much. We will come to that because you will be giving your concluding statement, and you will have advice to the youth, because I am certain and I know that you are a darling to the youth. That's why most of your statements are directed to the youth. Mr. Njai, you are a serious businessman, and not only nationally but internationally and globally. And as a result, the people actually are seeing you here today. They expect, some of the initiatives that you will also bring, to make sure that the lives of an ordinary Gambian is improved. Today, what do you have? Because once you bring some economic changes, for those who actually read Peace and Conflict, they will tell you that security is now going beyond ordinary, where you have the military and, their weapons. Security starts personal, where you call human security, where a human being is equipped. He or she has his meal, he or she is safe in his environment. Once your human security actually is, human security level is actually sustained, there is no need for this traditional or military security. And today, you are a businessman, what do you have for the youth? Because your contribution will bring structural changes, and as a result, the crime rate will reduce.
Spot on. Okay. Spot on. Look, national security is a component of security, the police, whatever, people, the economy, and this is even the environment. Now, even moving over to cyber. Cyber security is key for any country. You know, so really, it's a component of a lot of things. Is a composition of a lot of components. Now, for me now, you've asked me a direct question. I mean, do you know that under TAF Africa Global, we have a foundation?
Okay.
And TAF Africa Global has a foundation called TAF Africa Foundation. And we have committed, you know, 1% of our turnover, it's not our profit, into our foundation. And we do it all on youth empowerment. We have 7 different initiatives, you know, and I don't want to just repeat it over and over again with time. I don't want to list it. But, you know, one of them now directly into skills development. Because, again, if you want to take the kids off the street, give them some skills. Now, as you might know that we have an initiative to develop 1 million homes across sub-Saharan Africa. Now, every house that we develop, no matter how small it is, basically it will employ about 25 people. You are creating 25 jobs. So automatically, by developing 1 million homes, we are creating 25 million direct jobs.
Seriously.
It's a lot.
That is a lot.
I was just telling you about 1.6 million youth or kids being sent to school over 5 years. So that's about 300,000, you know, every year that gets enrolled. So imagine now creating this opportunity for kids. So if government focuses again on the type of development on these kids, we will put them off the street. Now, again, as a Gambian, obviously the 1 million of everybody knows that it will not be built all in the Gambia. It will be built, you know, across sub-Saharan Africa. But we export them, we go with them. They are expatriates, they make money. And we did it. When we were in Port Harcourt, we moved 400 Gambians and Senegalese there. 400 of them. And they were being paid in hard currency. When they get paid, they change it into dollars and send it back. The engineers, close to 30 engineers were there. Most of them Gambians. You know? So really, what we do at TAF Africa Global is to develop homes, and we're following the whole value chain. I will take this opportunity just to tell you that, you know, we are into some major development, something that people have never seen in this country.
Seriously?
Yes, big time. When I say big, one of them is coming out next week.
Seriously?
And let the people be the judge.
Seriously.
So that will be on, but it's all towards employment creation. Yes, as an economic operator, I'll get in, I'll make my benefits, but it creates employment. Then we are also working on our new city development. We are going to develop a completely new city. But in our development, we are focusing on the whole value chain. Meaning that we are not only concentrating on building houses, but we are looking at everything that goes around a human being's living standards. So, for example, within our estates now, or in the new city development we're putting, there will be horticulture will be there, through building some greenhouses, intensive agriculture, animal husbandry, poultry, you know, there'll be workshops and warehouses, you know, for businesses. So a lot will happen, but it's all towards lifting the lives of Gambians, especially the young ones, because you are the majority, and also creating wealth.
Thank you very much, Mr. Njai. I'm not surprised, you know, because, you know, I've been reading your profile, you know, and I was like so amazed, you know, you're doing something great. And, you know, I think, you know, you want to be emulated, you know. Also, you also still, as you said, you expand, keep on innovating. Don't say, okay, Mr. Njai is doing great. Okay, you say, okay, now I am the best. Let me just stop here. You need to keep on advancing and innovating. Mr. Njai, as I always tell you, you actually sitting on this platform here, Fadu Network, I know youths all over Africa are looking at you. Youths all over the Gambia are looking at you. You are a darling to the youths. You are not only a Gambian, but you are a Pan-Africanist. You are not only a Pan-Africanist, but you are a humanitarian. And as a result, you must have a statement for the youths, because youths are the most vulnerable people in the society. They are the ones who actually are used to go and, you know, start doing all kinds of violence. The heart of every youth is to live in a very meaningful life. No one desires to live, you know, in the forest, posing threats to people. You must have a very strong statement that will be sent across to youths all over the Gambia, Africa, and to the world at large.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, you are quite right. I mean, and again, just the background of that, I decided, you know, when I hit 60, that I want to now spend the rest of my life. One of them is on youth empowerment, working with the youth. And as you know, my Twitter name is Youthman. And this is now spreading across Pan-Africa.
Okay.
I am in touch with ULEAD. ULEAD is a Pan-African youth organization with a membership of 250,000 of them. So really, and the reason why I'm doing this, you get to an age in life where there should be contentment. You look back and say, well, thank God, my kids are all grown up. I have seen the world. I am not dying to drive the best car or live in the biggest house or wear the most expensive watch. So what I'm working now is on my legacy. What do I want to be remembered for? And I want to be remembered by the youth because they are the leaders of tomorrow. And I know that I have a role to play in their lives because I can tell them good examples. I can look at you, Justice, and say, look, Justice, you don't want to do carpentry, but when I was at your age, I did it. So you look at me, you emulate me, you want to be like a tough when you grow up. I will tell you, look, when I left high school, I was working with my hands. So if you go through this, it is likely you will do it. So my advice to the youth is that, one, they should be hardworking. You should be ready to sweat. No, there's no easy or shortcut to success. And that's today, not every youth or so, but within the youths we see that. They want to get things too fast, want to move too fast. So my advice really is take your time, work hard, and be honest. Those are some of the values of success. Work hard, ready to sweat. I just want to cut it short. But remember that all the time, whoever's listening, that wherever you are, don't give up. Life is more of a marathon than a 100-meter dash. 100-meter dash, you do it in 9 seconds. 7 seconds these days even also. You go fast, boom, boom, off you go. But in a marathon, it takes you hours. What is important in a marathon is to complete the race, not to be at the first or second or third or at the front. So therefore, for the majority of youth that are listening, life is not easy these days because there's competition. Population is growing. The population of Africa is growing at an average of between 2 to 3%. That's a lot. So within the next 30 years or so, if you think that we are populated here, it's going to double. So therefore, I want to urge the youth that please, whatever you do, arm yourself with skills. You will never be disappointed with your skills. I did carpentry when I was in high school, in Gambia High School. And then, after high school, I went on and taught carpentry and then worked, in Balfour Beatty, as a builder and so on. Up to now, if something goes wrong in the house, I can take some carpentry tools and fix it. I will die with my skills. So please, skills. And skills, it's really relative. There's a variable of skills. You can be a computer technician, you can do media, whatever. But please pick up skills, learn something, and try to be a master of it. After you've done it, be honest in everything that you are doing. Honesty pays. Because these days, a lot of the time, some of these youth, some of them, they are not very honest. I've tried some, you try to help them. By the time you even give them a seed capital, they disappear. And then they will complain. My friend, if you want to work, you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. After prayers, run to the site. Make sure you are not late. So that's my advice. Life can never be easy. It gets tougher by the day because there's too much competition. We are competing for a very small resource. But if you are ready to work hard and you are honest, I have no doubt that the road to success is not far.
Thank you. Mr. Njai, as you speak, I am emotional. As I told you, Mr. Njai, is a man of caliber. And once he comes and he speaks with eloquence and he speaks with wisdom. Today we actually did not speak any Mandinka or Wolof whatsoever. But I'm batting on coming tandala jawolo nyinti ko bi nga luntam farman sarim bala sota jang wolo nyinti wolam taf global la nyaton ko di la CEO la boss ba wala bijang bi ni wala bijang nana takka sota jang wono munti wala nyinti ko bankola tankoning aning ay munne soto bankola Cairo nyina andung bi ay yamar kendo la sota jang mi alon ko ay actually tala mole jang and akamen fa wala nyinti ko nyanta talal by all means nga mecho soto ninga mecho soto mecho mo buka bondi bulo kono mecho inaka fale Mr. Njai kuma jamal for me alonko to be frank enough I wish this can be like every week so because Mr. Njai is somebody who is very inspiring and he has said so many things actually which that when they are utilized that can actually transform somebody's life. Mr. Njai, it's almost time, you know, and what concluding remark do you have? It's 1 hour. You see, 1 hour is like 1 minute.
It moves fast, huh? It moves very fast. Well, I want to thank you, and obviously your boss, Fatu, you know, and the team, Lamin Jai and others, the cameraman. I want to thank you very much. I think you guys are doing a good job.
Thank you.
Look, you know, everybody has a role to play in this development of this country. What you are doing, you have a role to play.
Seriously.
And that's what progresses.
Okay.
You know, so let us be tolerant. That's my advice. Tolerance, it pays. Let us be tolerant. Let us be patient. You say we can speak. Rome was not built in a day.
Yeah, seriously.
You know, they will just tell you, you know my hashtag, Gambia the Fadem Diakuya.
I saw that, I was laughing.
Yes. You know them Diakuya, Mandem. You know, and there are others now. Actually, somebody, you know, who is highly placed in this country, you know, saw my interview with one of the TV stations and sent me a message. So now I believe in Gambia the Fadem Diakuya. If we all are positive, Justice is doing this. Justice is Fatu network. I'm not program. You know, munna se yokali nga yoka kosi. Kusi neka sunda secretary nga je. There's always a reason. Kuin gisem. Nga ñu la ko duril vin.
Exactly.
Kuin buñ gisem rek mu am lu rot. Xam nga lu gisem.
Exactly.
So ko yengale rek mu am lu rot.
Exactly.
We all have our faults. We are not perfect. But let us be tolerant. Let us accept each other for our differences. That's what makes us unique. We are a very small country. It's a lovely country. Anybody who comes into this country loves it. That's why we have, you know, more than 10% of our population coming into this country as tourists. Not every country has it. We have the same beach. They will say, oh, we have nice beach. If you go along the coast of West Africa, every country on the coast have the same beach. Some are even better than us. The reason why tourists are not going there, it's the people, and we are losing it. We all benefit. I sell my houses when tourists come in, you know, they pay money and they give people, they come to us. So really, that's my last advice, that whatever we do, because it's about peace and security, let us all do everything possible to safeguard, you know, peace and tranquility that we all enjoy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Njai. We actually owe you gratitude. You have done justice to the Peace Talk Show, and I am so the audience will actually, you know, confirm that Mr. Njai has spoken, and as I said, he has spoken, you know, with wisdom. Mr. Njai has spoken things which, you know, that they will go in long way in addressing the national or the security challenges of this country, and some of the short-term, medium-plan, and long-term, you know, solutions to our security challenges. Mr. Njai is a Pan-Africanist. I don't look at him as a Gambian. He is a humanitarian. Mr. Njai is a man and is a darling of the youths. And we thank you very much for actually, you know, watching us. See you next week, the same time. The Peace Talk Show is here to say, as far as security is collective, the Peace Talk Show is supposed to be something that is to stay here. And please, once you watch this show, make sure you adhere to the wisdom of people who actually speak here. We are not just coming here to be appearing on the camera, but we want to speak to address the issues that are disturbing everybody. Mr. Njai is disturbed, I am disturbed, and you are disturbed. So therefore, let's not challenge or condone anything that will put a threat to your peace or to my peace or to somebody's peace. Because I do not want violence, you do not want violence, and somebody does not want violence. Therefore, we thank you very much, and this is your host, Alassane Jallow, commonly called Justice. Gratitude.